Well, this is the last Sunday in 2019. You know what's right around the corner. That means Christmas is come and gone. You know, did everybody get what they wanted for Christmas?
Yes.
Yeah? Did Santa fill your wish list? Yes? Okay. Well, I'm trusting that you all got the one thing that we've been talking about, that we were expecting this year, and that is the birth of that Christ consciousness of love. That's really the bottom line gift of any and every Christmas, is that deepening of that Christ consciousness within us, which is the gift of love. And so I trust that you all received that with joy and with blessings and honor. We've talked about the spiritual gifts this whole month of order and joy and love, and now today we're going to be highlighting that spiritual attribute of peace. Peace, I believe, is something that we all desire to experience at every moment. It's our natural default. It's what we are. And then that doesn't mean that we always get to experience peace, does it? Even though it's our default, it's our natural setting, we all chose to come to this earth plane as this beautiful, perfect spiritual being to play on this earth plane, which has an evolutionary process to it. It has a process that has contrast. And what we're here to do is to bring our natural, instinctive, spiritual blessings and gifts to this earth plane amid all of the changes and all of the things that go on in this life that we don't think we have control over, that we didn't particularly choose to have happen in our lives. So it's a process that we get to play with. Change happens. And sometimes change is uncomfortable. Many times it is. Because so many times we want to just be in charge. We want to be able to be in control. We want to be able to know this is what's going to happen next so that I can be prepared for it. Life isn't always like that. And there are times when, even when we're birthing something new, and if any women are in here that ever birthed a child, you know it's not really what you would necessarily describe as a peaceful event. So how do we have peace in our lives at all times, regardless? We all know peace begins with me. In order to have peace in the world, I have to have peace first and foremost come forth from and within me. So peace begins with me. I'd like us to have a little thing to say that with. Let's go ahead and say that together. Think about it as you say it. Peace begins with me. Close your eyes and say it again. Peace begins with me. With me. We have so many things going on in this world and so many things in the news, and you can just flip through or you turn on any news channel and oh my goodness, it's like the dread and gloom and this and that. And I guess that, started to say sells newspapers, but there's not too many newspapers sold these days, but that negative news gets bombarded at us a lot. And so we are here to remember that it's up to me to be this peace. And how do we do that? How do we be that peace? To me, one of the first things we can do is just choose to be happy. Choose to be happy with yourself. You know, we just had that burning bowl ceremony. We were releasing the negativity. We were releasing the less thans. That's one of the things I put down. I'm releasing all the times when I think I'm less than. And we let that go because we want to be in that state of accepting ourselves as we are, when they say warts and all, to accept ourselves knowing that we can be happy with who and what we are, and knowing that as an evolutionary being on this earth plane, knowing that we're perfect and whole, yes, absolutely, that's our spiritual essence. And yet when we came to this earth plane, we came here perhaps to learn some lessons, to have some ways to allow this spiritual, infinite being that we are out through experiences that perhaps weren't of our choosing. We have within us something greater, that I am peace at all times. We can choose to have peace regardless of what's going on around us. Sometimes our words and our actions aren't necessarily congruent with peace. So the first thing to remember is to become aware. Awareness is the first thing that we need to have in order to catch ourselves before we start going down that slippery slope of negativity, of bashing ourselves for this or that, or that I'm not enough, or darn it, I should have done, I shouldn't have done. All of the stuff that we just burned, that we just transmuted. Awareness of that is the first thing. I read a quote by J. Donald Walters. Self-acceptance comes from meeting life's challenges vigorously. Don't numb yourself to your trials and difficulties or build mental walls to exclude pain from your life. You will find peace not by trying to escape your problems, but by confronting them courageously. You will find peace not in denial, but in victory. We need to bring it out. Whatever the consternation is that we have within our heart, we need to bring it forth. Acknowledge it. It's revealed to be healed. How many times have we heard that? It's revealed to be healed so that we can apply the balm of love to whatever that hurt is that we've had. We acknowledge the hurt. We acknowledge that. But as we bring it forth, we can release it and let it go and experience that peace. How do we do it? Just a couple suggestions. One thing is, if we have something in our hearts and it's causing us difficulty, causing us consternation, no peace, you have a friend you can share it with? Do you have somebody that you can speak your word and let just those words come forth? A good friend, a counselor, a practitioner, someone that you can just let this out of your physical being and share it. You may not even expect that person to give you any answer, any type of solution, but to just get it out and out of the hiding. Because many times if we share our issue with someone, they'll go, oh, that's not that big a deal. Perhaps we've made a mountain out of a molehill. The second way, and I don't know if they're in particular order or not, is to bite the bullet. Yes, you can go in and acknowledge to your higher self, God, this is what I'm experiencing. I'm experiencing something that is of dismay to me. Ask your Christ self. Remember, we all had that Christ child just born in us, that Christ child of love. Let that love envelop you. Let that love give you that soothing balm. Because love knows no condemnation. Love doesn't judge. Love is very accepting. And that's what we need to do with ourselves, is to bring that love that we have up to heal us. I remember that so many of us have that saying, the peace that passes understanding. I don't know, it's on the Bible somewhere. I'm not sure where. I can't quote the Bible very good. But the peace that passes understanding, to me, is twofold. How I interpret it is twofold. Number one, it's a peace that passeth understanding, like it's beyond understanding. There's no need to understand it. It's a peace that just envelops us, and we don't need to figure it out. However, I look at it also on the other hand, on the other side of the coin, and I say the peace that passes understanding, to me, says, peace does give me understanding. Peace gives me understanding that I have within me everything I need, that I am whole, and that everyone else is, regardless of what their actions are, regardless of what their words are, that they have that innateness in them. And that's what I want to see, that's what I want to look at. I've been reading my 365 Days of Earnest. If you don't have that book, that's available again in Science of Mind. It's great. It's a book that's a daily read from Ernest Holmes and Charles Barker, and one fabulous readings. But one of them that I read yesterday stuck with me. If I do not always have my own way, I must see that as right action and agree with it. It reminds me of Emma Curtis Hopkins, everything is God. This too is God, this too is good. I demand to see the good in it now. As we set aside our judgments, we set aside having to have it our way. Because the less we go into this fact that it's got to be my way, the highway, what are we doing? All we're doing is feeding more of consternation, more of non-peace. We're not happy, we're not peaceful when we do that. There was a quote from the universe. How many of you get the universe things? It says, adversity, challenges, and bumps in the road are often the first signs that a great healing has begun. Have you ever thought about that? Think about it. When things happening in life, say, wow, some big transformation's coming. Thinking of you, the universe, especially when one seeks to understand them. Adversity, challenges, and bumps in the road are often the first signs that a great healing has begun. Thinking of you, the universe, especially when one seeks to understand them. Again, it's time to go within and ask that love that is beating our hearts and breathing our breath to just bring us that peace of understanding. Let me have the peace of understanding through whatever this situation is, so that I can be a peaceful entity on this earth plane. This earth needs peace. And where does it begin? It begins with me. It begins with each and every one of us doing our due diligence within to stay focused and to stay centered in the peace that we are, in the joy that we are, in the love that we are. In your programs today, there's another piece of paper, and it's called The Qualities of God. This is going to be some homework for you. Because next week when we come back, between now and then, I want you to review these qualities of God, and I want you to meditate on them and bring forth one in particular, maybe two, that you would like to have highlighted more so than ever in 2020. Do some meditation on it, bring them into your thought process, into your heart process, and just think about what is the one quality that I would like to have more of in 2020. And we'll be coming back next Sunday and doing a confirmation on that. We'll be doing a little ceremony and a little ritual on deepening that commitment that we will have to bring one of those characteristics more fully into our life in 2020. This last week, I was part of the Affiliated New Thought Network Ministers Google group, and someone put forth the assignment to have us all come up with a phrase that 2020 would rhyme with blank, blank, blank 2020. And you see all the different examples of this one and that one. And Jerry Troyer actually was the one who won the contest, be it as such as it was. It was just a person that said, hey, who wants to put this out there? And Jerry said, love, peace, and plenty in 2020. Love, peace, and plenty in 2020. And so that's what I know that all of us can experience in this coming year and in every single day of it, to have that peace that passes understanding in our hearts and in our experiences and in our lives and in our relationships and in everything we do. Have that beautiful peace that passes understanding so deep within your soul that it just glows from you. So peace be with you always. Love you.